The Boston Strangler is one of the most infamous serial killer cases in American history. Between 1962 and 1964, the city of Boston was gripped by fear as a series of brutal murders targeted women, primarily in their homes. The case not only raised questions about safety and law enforcement, but also shed light on societal attitudes towards women and crime during that era. This blog post aims to unravel the complex narrative of the Boston Strangler, examining the victims, the investigation, and the broader cultural implications. Historical context. Boston in the early 1960s was a city undergoing significant change. The post-war period saw a surge in population, urban development, and a growing sense of suburbanization. However, alongside this progress, crime rates were also rising, leading to a palpable sense of fear among residents. The attitudes towards women, particularly in the context of crime, reflected broader societal issues, including misogyny and victim blaming. The murders attributed to the Boston Strangler emerged against this backdrop of anxiety and transformation. The victims. The victims of the Boston Strangler were primarily women, often living alone or in vulnerable situations. Insert detailed profiles of the known victims, including their backgrounds and the circumstances surrounding their deaths. The commonalities among the victims, such as their living situations and demographics, paint a tragic picture of the threat they faced. The impact of their deaths extended beyond the individual victims to their families and the community at large, sparking fear and grief throughout Boston. The crimes. The murders attributed to the Boston Strangler were characterized by their brutal and methodical nature. Describe the details of the crime scenes, methods used, and the timeline of events leading to the discovery of the murders. The fear generated by the murders was compounded by the randomness of the attacks, with many victims being targeted in their homes, places they should have felt safe. Public reactions included heightened anxiety and demands for increased police presence, reflecting a community grappling with vulnerability. The investigation. The investigation into the Boston Strangler case was extensive and fraught with challenges. Discuss key law enforcement figures involved, the strategies employed, and the difficulties they faced. The media played a significant role in shaping public perception, often sensationalizing the murders and contributing to the climate of fear. Tips from the community flooded in, leading to numerous leads that ultimately proved fruitless, complicating the investigation further. The suspects. As the investigation progressed, several suspects were considered, each bringing a different set of implications to the case. Provide profiles of key suspects, detailing their backgrounds and the evidence against them. The shifting focus on different individuals reflected the complexities of the case, as investigators sought to connect the dots amid a growing public outcry for justice. Albert DeSalvo, the confession. Albert DeSalvo emerged as a key figure in the case when he confessed to being the Boston Strangler. Provide background on DeSalvo, his life prior to the confessions, and the circumstances surrounding them. His confession raised numerous questions regarding its validity. Was he truly the killer, or did he seek notoriety? Psychological evaluations of DeSalvo further complicated the narrative, as experts weighed in on his mental state and the implications for his confession. The trial Albert DeSalvo was never tried for the murders of the Boston Strangler. Instead, he was convicted for unrelated crimes and ultimately died in prison. Discuss any relevant details of his trial, public reactions, and the media's portrayal of the case. The lack of a formal trial for the murders left many questions unanswered, fueling public debate and speculation about justice and accountability. The aftermath. The impact of the Boston Strangler case extended far beyond the immediate tragedy of the murders. Discuss the societal changes that occurred in Boston as a result, including changes in law enforcement practices and public safety measures. The cultural reflections of the case permeated media, literature, and film, shaping the narrative of crime in American society and inspiring countless true crime explorations. Continuing mystique and legacy. The Boston Strangler case continues to captivate audiences today, remaining a focal point in true crime discussions. Examine how the case has been revisited in modern media, including documentaries, books, and films. The lingering questions surrounding the case and its key figures contribute to an ongoing mystique, inviting speculation and analysis. Conclusion. The Boston Strangler case remains one of the most chilling and complex narratives in true crime history. As we reflect on the events surrounding the murders, it's crucial to consider the broader lessons about crime, justice, and societal attitudes. The legacy of the Boston Strangler serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and compassion in our communities, encouraging further exploration into the depths of human behavior and the quest for justice.